continue now at the top of Daf Kuf Tes Zayin Amud Aleph from Meseches Pesachim. This is Pesachim Daf 116a. The Gemara says, Afkan beprusa, just like a poor person uses a broken piece of bread, so too that's what we do on the night of Pesach. The Rashi over here says, Afkan beprusa levarich al achilas matzah. We use a broken piece of matzah. That's the bracha of al achilas matzah. That's the mitzvah of eating matzah. Ushtei shleimos ma'isi. We also bring 2 whole pieces of matzah. Mishum birchas hamotzi, because we want to make hamotzi on 2 whole pieces. The lo gora mishari yomim tovim. It's not any worse than any other yom tiv. Shetzarich livtzoa al shtei kikara shleimus. You need to make hamotzi on 2 full loaves of otzei achas me'ashleimus. You also have to cut into one of the whole pieces. The Gemara says further, davar acher, another explanation, madarko shel ani hu masik v'ishto ofa. Just like by a poor person, he's the one that lights the fire while his wife bakes. Afkan nami soto over here on Pesach, hu masik v'ishto ofa. He's going to light the fire and his wife is going to bake. And the idea is, an ani has very little wood, so he wants to make sure that the fire is lit. It's quickly lit at the exact right time, so he lights the fire while the wife bakes. So therefore, the wood won't run out of fuel. You're not going to run out of fire. Similarly, in order to make sure that the matzah does not become chametz, you want it to be efficient, so he lights the fire and she bakes. And the Gemara continues at the 2 dots. Af al pi she'ein charosas mitzvah. It said in the Mishnah that even though charosas is not a mitzvah, you have charosas. Gemara says, v'lo mitzvah, if it's not a mitzvah, mishum ma'isila. Why are we bringing the charosas? Amar Rabami says, mishum kap, it's because of the poison that's in the lettuce, that sharpness. So therefore, in order to offset that, you need charosas. Amar Ravasi says, kapo dechasa chama. He says the way to avoid, if somebody eats chazeres and he becomes sick because of the poison, he should eat a radish. That's going to be the antidote. Kapo dechama karti. If you have, again, if let's say someone ate a radish and that's also difficult, so the antidote is going to be leek. Kapa de karti chamimi, the antidote for leeks is going to be hot water. And kapa de kulu chamimi, that's really the antidote for everything, is to have hot water. Adahachi v'hachi, in any case, in the meantime, Neimahachi, the person should say the following incantation if he has an issue with his poison. Kappa, poison, dachir nalach, I remember you, v'lasheb ben nosech, and your 7 daughters, u'latamne kalosech, and to your 8 daughter-in-laws. Rabbi Elazar Bar Tzadok omer mitzvah v'chulu. Rabbi Elazar Bar Tzadok says that the charosas is a mitzvah. My mitzvah, what's the mitzvah, the Gemara asks. Rabbi Levi says, zecher l'tapuach, it's a remembrance for the apple. Rabbi Yochanan omer zecher l'tit, it's a remembrance for the cement that they used, the mortar that they used when they were slaves in Egypt. Rashi over here says, zecher l'tapuach, shayu yoldos b'nei hen sham below etzev, shalo yakiru behen mitzrayim. They used to give birth over there under the apple tree, so the Egyptians wouldn't see. Dechsiv, like the pasuk says, tachas hatapuach oraticha, I awakened you under the apple tree. So that's according again to Rabbi Levi. Rabbi Yochanan says it's a zecher l'tit, it's a zecher for the mortar that they used in Mitzrayim, the cement, when they were slaves in Egypt. So Amar Abaye says, Hilkach tzarech l'kahuye, v'tzarech l'samuche. He says, therefore you need to make it tart, and you also need to make it thick. L'kahuye zecher l'tapuach. You have to make the charosas tart, because it's a remembrance for the apple tree. That's how the apples taste. V'tzarech l'samuche, you need to make it thick. Zecher l'tit, that's a remembrance for the tit. Tanya kivase de Rabbi Yochanan, we have a brisa like Rabbi Yochanan. Tavlin is zecher l'tavin, the spices that we put into the charosas, that's a remembrance for the straw that they used in the construction in Egypt. Charosas zecher l'tit, the charosas is a remembrance for the tit that they used in construction in Egypt. Amar Rabbi Elazar Rabbi Tzadok says, Kach hayu omrim tagore charoch shabi Yerushalayim. The merchants of the stores in Yerushalayim, and the idea of the charoch is a reference to the windows, because they used to sit by the windows in order to make their sale. They used to say as follows, Bo u'telulachem tavlin l'mitzvah. Come get your spices for the mitzvah. That's how they refer to the charosas. And the Gemara continues with the Mishnah, Mazgu lo kos sheni. They then pour the 2nd cup of wine. This is the 2nd cup of the Dalet Kozos. V'kan haben shoel aviv. And here, the son asks his father questions. V'mein das beben aviv melamdo. And if the son has no das, he doesn't have the intelligence to do so, the father should teach him. Man ishtanu halaylo hazem yikol halaylos. What is the difference between this night and other nights? Shebechol halaylos and all other nights. Anu ochlin chametz and matzah. We eat chametz and matzah. Halayla hazeh kulo matzah. This night we eat all matzah. Shebechol halaylos anu ochlin shar yerakos. All other nights we eat other vegetables. Halayla hazeh morer. This night we eat morer. Shebechol halaylos anu ochlin basar tzli shalok u'mavushal. That in all other nights we eat the meat, whether it's roasted, whether it's cooked. Halayla hazeh kulo tzli. This night we eat all roasted. Shebechol halaylos anu matbilin pamachas. All other nights we dip 1 time. Halayla hazeh shtei po'amim. And this night we dip 2 times. Ulefi daito shel ben aviv melamdo. According to the intelligence of the son, that's how the father teaches him. Maschil begnus, we start with the bad, Messiah b'shavach, we end with the praise. V'doresh me'arami ovid avi, we darshan from the pasuk, from the parsha of Arami ovid avi, ad sheyigmor kol parsha kula, until he finishes the entire parsha. Taner Rabban and the rabbis taught, Chacham b'no sho'alo, if the son is wise, he asks the questions himself. V'imeno chacham, if he's not wise, ishto sho'alto, his wife asks the questions. V'imlav, and if not, hu sho'al liatzmo, he asks himself. V'afilu shnei talmidei chachamim sheyodin b'ilchas HaPesach, even two talmidei chacham who know the halachas of Pesach, sho'al and zelazeh, they ask each other the questions. Ma'nishtana halayla hazeh mikol halaylos, sheb'chol halaylos anu matzbilin pamachas, halayla hazeh shtei pavim. This, on other nights we dip once, this night twice. Maskif lo Rava, Rava asked the following question, Atu kol yuma lo sagid lo mitva lo chodazim, on other days you have to dip once. Elo ma Rava, rather Rava says, Hachi katani, here's what the Mishnah means. Sheb'chol halaylos ein anu chayavin l'tavel afilu pamachas. On all other nights, we're not obligated to dip even one time. Halayla hazeh shtei pavim, tonight we're obligated to dip 2 times. Maskif lo Rav Safra, so Rav Safra asked on that, Chiyuv l'dardika, you think children are going to ask questions about chiyuvim? What do they know about chiyuvim? Elamer of Safra, rather of Safra says, Hachi katani, here's what it means to say, Einanu matzbilin afilu pa'amachas. We do not even dip even once. Halayla hazeh shtei pa'amim. On this night, we dip twice. Maschil begnus u'masayim b'shevach. We start with the bad, we end with the good. My begnus, what does it mean we start with the bad? Rav Amarav says, Mitchila ovdei avodas gilulim haya avoseinu. Rav says what it means is we say that in the beginning we worshipped idols. That was negative. U'shmuel Amar Shmuel says, avodim hayinu. We start with the fact that we were slaves, that's the negative. Amar lei Rav Nachman l'daru avdei. Rav Nachman said to Daru, his servant, Avdab demapik lei mari l'cheirus. If you have a servant whose master frees him, v'yoiv lei kaspa v'dav, and he gives him silver and gold, my boy l'meimar lei, what should he say to him? Amar lei said to him, boy lo duye l'shabuche. He needs to say praises, and he needs to thank and say praises to his master. Amar lei said to him, Petartan milomer manishtana, you've made us potter from saying manishtana. Pasach v'yamar avodim hayinu. And he opened his mouth, and he began to say, Avodim hayinu. The Gemara continues with the Mishnah, Rabbi Gamliel, Haya Omer, Rabbi Gamliel used to say, Kol shelo Omer, anyone who doesn't say, and we'll continue with this discussion in the next video, on Daf Tube Amud Beis.